Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Opal podcast. To start the series on a magical note, we have with us here today Sathwik Gupta, an illusionist and mentalist who weaves wonder into every performance. Sathwik is a master of his craft, blending the ancient art of magic and modern entertainment to create truly mesmerizing experiences. Known for his interactive and humorous performances and deep understanding of the audience psychology, Sathwik has mesmerized people across the country. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Pranav. Lovely.
Magic has kind of become your identity to the mass, to the audience right now.
Yes.
How did it all start?
How did it all start? Just like every other kid, Pranav, I bought a magic kit in a toy store. A lot of people would stop there, but I continued.
When was this? When did you get the magic kit?
I think I was 7 years old, 6, 7. I think it's been 18 years, almost 18 years since I
Wow.
got my first magic kit. And yeah, a long journey. But obviously, I wasn't learning magic for 18 years. I had my ins and outs with magic.
Okay.
I had a lot of other hobbies.
Okay.
But magic always kept on coming back to me.
How did you get from buying a kit and starting out as a kid to becoming this?
So, when I first bought my magic kit, it was all those basic props, right? I remember learning all those, and I remember performing it in my school once. I was in 3rd grade. My first stage show
Right.
was in my school, and I remember bringing out a coin from my principal's nose.
Wow.
And that's where it all started. I saw the applause, I heard the applause, and it felt good.
Right.
But I never did again. I never performed again because it was just that one kit. I didn't know anything more.
Mhm.
But I always wanted to learn more. So I remember going to a magic class. So I went to the class for like almost 3 days and the classes got stopped. I was sad. And then after a couple of years, I wanted to learn magic. Really, I wanted to get into magic. And I went on Google. I searched for magic classes near me.
Okay.
Yeah. And I found one teacher. And he came home and he was teaching me magic.
Right.
It was not the kind of magic I'm doing right now. It was all birthday party magic, all colorful flowers and,
Right.
ropes and silks, a
Right.
lot of colors, right?
Right.
It was something for the eyes and for the kids.
Correct.
But that magic was world class for me at that point of time.
Right.
It was so good. I was like, wow.
Right.
And I used to perform for my family and friends. And there was one time in school, my teacher announced that there's a inter-school competition.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, let's compete. I know magic, why not?
Right.
And it was an inter-school competition. A lot of schools had come in. So there's something called Minute to Win It, right?
Right.
Talent
Correct.
show. For 1 minute, you need to perform something.
Correct.
I remember performing and it didn't come out well.
Okay.
And my teacher was like, you don't study as well and I thought you'll at least do magic. You didn't do good in that as well. Why are you even doing it? That's when I stopped doing magic.
Okay.
I got really disappointed. I felt bad.
How
And
old were you?
I was 12, 11, 12 or something around that time.
Okay.
Because I was not that great in studying as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was not even an average student. I was always into co-curricular.
Right.
I loved playing. I used to love dance, music, everything other than studies. I was always that kid who wants to be outside class, not in a classroom.
Right.
But school is all about the classroom, right?
Of course.
So I learned that tricks and it didn't really work out in the show and I was demotivated. I was like, let's not get into it. I had another hobby at that time which was dancing, so I just continued that.
Right.
Magic stopped.
Yeah. So from there to now, it's a long journey.
A lot more.
Like failing in a inter-school competition.
I didn't fail just there.
Right.
I'll tell you the funny thing.
Right.
So I was dancing and then I stopped dancing. I went to college and in college there was a inter-college competition.
Right.
Another competition.
Got it.
At that point of time, I was a very introverted kid.
Mhm.
I never really socialized with people.
Mhm.
I wanted to talk to people, but I didn't have anything to talk to or, talk with to
Right.
start a conversation. I'm like, you know what, let me take up magic again.
Mhm.
So the same props I had, the flowers and all that stuff, I'm like, I'll compete.
Right.
You know what? Actually, I didn't say I'll compete. I remember a friend saying this guy knows magic
Right.
because I told him that. And this guy told my teacher, this guy knows magic, he should go to the competition. And the teacher was like, magic, nobody has done it, come in.
Right.
So I go to the college, another college,
Right.
600 to 700 people
Mhm.
or more, I don't know, college students.
Right.
I'm waiting for there were like 10, 15 acts, different people.
Right.
I told the organizers, give me a table because I have my props, and
Right.
I told them, give me a collar mic or,
Right.
stand mic, and tell me at least 10 minutes in advance so that I can prepare my stuff.
Right.
I'm standing, I'm waiting. There were amazing acts. There was one guy playing drums with random vessels. There
Okay.
was this one karate kid,
Okay.
and I'm just standing there.
Right.
And they're like, Sathwik, you're next. I was like, what? I told you to let me know 10 minutes in advance. I have some stuff. They're like, sorry. The other guy had to leave.
Right.
I'm like, okay. I go there with all my props. And then I see there's no stand mic. They've given me hand mic.
Right.
How can I even perform magic with one
With
hand?
one hand.
It's
Right.
right now with mentalism, hypnosis, yes, I can do it.
Yeah.
But back then I had props to do.
Right.
So a friend came in, he was holding the mic for me. He was from another college. He came in.
Okay.
I did my show. It came out really bad again. People
Okay.
started booing. You know, college crowd,
Wow.
right? People
Okay.
started booing. I was really disappointed. I was like, I need to leave from this place right now. So I finished the show. I mean, the competition. I didn't wait. I
Right.
closed my bags. I broke some props because I was in a hurry to
Okay.
leave. And then I ran out of the college.
Okay.
I'm like, shit, history repeats. Another session of disappointment in magic.
Right.
What am I even good at? Is a question which started coming to me.
Mhm.
I was dancing and I had to stop dancing. I was into a little theater which I stopped for some reasons, and again magic. I'm like, what am I really good at?
Mhm.
Next day, I go to college. The teacher starts coming towards me. I'm like, oh my god, another again.
Hmm.
It's gonna
Not
happen.
again.
Not again. She comes to me and she's like, Sathwik. I'm like, yes, ma'am. She's like, you won second place. I was like, what? Yeah, you won second place. I'm like, I did that and I won second place. I think I need to take this seriously. So that's when I started getting into magic seriously. This was when I was in second PU,
Wow. Okay.
12th.
Even there, to what you've got till now, is a long journey, and there's a vast gap.
Yes.
How did that happen?
How did that happen? So I started following a lot of street magicians like David Blaine.
Right.
David Blaine is my favorite. I have his tattoo as well.
Right.
So he's the pioneer
Can you
of
show the
street
tattoo to the
Yeah.
camera, please? I don't know if it.
I'm not just showing to the camera, I've shown it to David Blaine himself. He's
Wow.
liked it.
Awesome.
So I liked all these. So I used to watch this channel called AXN.
Oh, right. I
There
remember
used to be
accent.
Chris Angel who used to
Correct,
perform.
yes.
And right after that, there used to be a masked magician teaching
Right,
everything.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I used to
Debunking all the
debunking
messing.
all of magic biggest secrets finally revealed.
Correct.
So after that, I got into I started learning some magic. Then I went on YouTube.
Right.
I learned some tricks, card magic and coin magic. So now I didn't need a stage to perform.
Right.
I can start a conversation with card. I can just perform people
Right. Obviously,
and
that's
just
the
socialize with people.
Best icebreaker you can
Best
ever
icebreaker
have.
you
Yeah.
can ever have.
Yeah.
I started doing that and people really started liking.
Right.
And I was like, I think I can do something in this. And then I started performing more,
Right.
college and friends
Right.
and family. And then I got a call from one person, do you want to do a show?
Mhm.
I'm like, let's go.
Right.
Why not?
Definitely.
And I did a show, close-up magic show, my first show.
Okay.
It was a really less amount, obviously.
Yeah,
It was my
obviously, yes.
first show.
Yeah.
And
But you got paid in your first show. That is amazing.
not really.
Not
I've
many
done a
people.
lot of shows for free, but even after my first paid show, I had to do a lot of free shows in the name
Right.
of exposure,
I'm
which
sure.
has really not helped me till now.
I'm sure.
No wonder all these exposure shows. You can see me how I am right now. Initial days, I didn't eat anything because I was just eating exposure. let's cut this from the video.
2 plates of exposure today.
Yeah, Pranav's giving me exposure.
No, I pay him, please. Pay
Okay.
him by the hour.
Yeah. But he takes us 2 minutes.
20 minutes.
But yeah. So, all this happened. I did my first show.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I think I should do this. Then I took up gigs. I started doing brunch shows in hotels.
Right.
To be very honest, until the last 2 years, I never took up magic full time.
So
It
you're
was in-
still kind of not sure if this is
Not
what you want
sure,
to do
yeah.
or if this is who you are until last 2 years.
2023, around September is when I was like, okay,
Wow.
I think I should do this.
Amazing. So 16 years of just experimenting, facing little failures here and there, and then getting a lot of appreciation.
It might look like little failures,
Yeah, but
it was hard on me because I still remember the teachers shouting at me.
right.
I still remember that.
Right.
So I feel bad even now.
Right.
I feel like no one should do that.
Yeah.
If somebody, goes wrong, you need to tell them or, encourage
There's
them.
a way to do it.
There's a way to do
without
it.
demoralizing. the
Demoralizing or
person.
demotivating.
Correct.
But yeah, might
Definitely true.
sound small, but it has a big impact on one person.
Right. So, when did you pick up mentalism and when did you start learning the art?
I think this is more than 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
I used to do magic, right?
Right.
Even in magic, if you see, the most basic magic trick is simple. You take a card
Right.
and I
Guess the
guess the
card.
card.
Correct.
What is that? It is mind reading.
Right.
It is mentalism.
Right.
So mentalism was always there, but I never knew that what I was doing was called
Term
mentalism.
Right.
So it was always magic for me.
Right.
But then that term mentalism came in, and then I started using that.
Right.
Yeah.
So mentalism has a lot to do with human behavior and the human psychic and everything. Has learning the art form helped you in your personal lives and in your relationships?
In my personal life, a lot.
Okay.
Because I earn a living out of it. But
Apart from money,
apart from money,
has it helped you in saving some situations or getting out of some situation that you're not supposed to?
Yes, it has. Because when it comes to magic or mentalism, we deal with a lot of human beings, right? On a
Right.
day-to-day basis.
Yes, correct.
And we do not deal with them just like a normal conversation. We try to understand their perspectives, try to get into their minds,
Right.
and we try to understand their behavior. So for which I really understand how people work. I remember I got caught because it was a routine check.
Right.
I didn't have my license back then.
Mhm.
I was do not ride without a license, guys. If you get caught, you cannot escape.
And don't tell Sathwik's name.
Yeah, please don't tell my name. Already the cops know me as the pickpocketer, so let's not do that. So I remember going there and he's like, "In Martya, what do you do?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Student, sir."
Right.
Hangenge. He's like, "DL kodu." I'm like,
Right.
"Sir, DL manel bittu bandidini."
Right.
Then he's like, "Photo." So photo, sir, manel yaru illa. I don't have anybody
Right.
at home to show
Send
you
a
the
photo.
send the DL.
Yeah.
He's like, ಇವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಫೈನ್ ಕಟ್ಟಲೇಬೇಕು.
Right.
I'm like, sir, ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ.
Right.
By mistake, I opened so I have, in my wallet, there's like 2 compartments, right?
Right,
You put your small notes and your long.
Right. And the big ones.
I wanted to show him the small notes, right? There were 10 or 20 bucks.
Okay.
But I showed him the bigger one. There was a 500 rupee note.
Right.
I was like,
Gone.
he's like, I'll burn kodu.
Hmm.
I noticed one thing about him.
Hmm.
When somebody gave him money,
Hmm.
he never saw them directly.
Okay.
I was noticing that because I was there for some time having a conversation escape. Then I'm like, okay. Then I go to him.
Right.
I had 500. He saw the 500. I switched it to a 20 rupee note.
Wow.
And he
sleight
just
of
kept
hand.
he just kept it in his
Right.
pockets.
Right.
And I just took my vehicle and went away.
Nice.
So I just gave him 20 bucks in the end. Yeah, so
Awesome.
sleight of hand helped me at that point of time.
Right. Awesome. Again, do not try this
Yeah,
with your
do not
cop
try
on
this.
your road, on in your house or whatever, because you're not Sathwik Gupta. And yes, so having said that, mentalism has helped you in
That
your
was
drive.
magic.
Right,
Mentalism in daily life situations, it does help in
right.
different ways.
So, how would you use mentalism to, make people take some certain decisions?
Uh, those are secrets.
Coming
Because
up in
if
the
it falls to the wrong hands, it works in a very different way. So
right,
I do not
definitely,
want to talk about certain things
of course,
because it's not for the public.
of course. Yeah. So, speaking of public, the public knows you as Magic with Sathwik. Of course, now we've done many shows across the country, corporate and weddings and whatnot. So all of you know as Sathwik, the magician, the mentalist, the illusionist. But I know you from a couple of years, but every time I meet you, I get to learn something new about you, like every time. And last time I heard that you were also a professional dancer at one point of a time. You've done shows on the stage, basically.
Yeah, I have danced before. I
Right.
mean, you can see that look I still
Yeah,
carry.
kind of the
I
hip
hip
hop
hop.
and b-boy
Yeah.
vibes.
So I started. I used to dance a lot.
Right.
Uh, I did like 2 years of Bharatnatyam,
Wow.
and yeah, I know that guy's pataka, tripataka, ardha pataka, kattarimaka. But yeah,
Nice.
I did 2 years of Bharatnatyam, and
Who
then
would have known?
I didn't want to do Bharatnatyam.
Right.
It was because of my mom. So in my school, they gave a circular saying, which class do you want to send your son to?
Right.
So there were two options.
Right.
One was contemporary,
Right.
one was Bharatnatyam. My mom, instead of striking Bharatnatyam, she
Take that.
underlined Bharatnatyam. So I had to join Bharatnatyam because my teachers were like, no, your family has told you to learn Bharatnatyam. So
Mhm.
I did 2 years of Bharatnatyam, and then somehow
Was
I'm
not
like,
for you.
no, 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 no.
Imagine you being a Bharatanatyam Arangetram dancer now.
But I didn't do that. I got into contemporary later on.
Right.
And then I really liked dance. So
Mhm.
I joined like a dance class near my home.
Mhm.
I did a lot, I did hip hop,
Mhm.
I did a little bit of b-boying.
Right.
And with that, my teacher was like, yo, you're good. I think you should do shows with us.
Wow. Okay.
I'm like, what are you even saying?
Right.
And I'm like, let's do it.
Right.
And I was like eighth grade. I
Okay.
was in eighth grade. But I
Amazing.
did do a lot of annual day dances in
Right.
between, right?
Right.
A
Right.
lot of, I've done Sufi, I've done a couple
Wow.
of things. I
Okay.
remember, you know the Sufi dance, right?
Yes. Yes.
I have rotated for almost 600 to 700 times
Wow.
in that dance performance.
Wow.
I was like, I've done all that. But uh, with that, I got into hip hop,
Right.
and I love Michael Jackson. I loved
Mhm.
Jackson. I used to listen to his music.
Mhm.
I had his books. I had his hat. I had everything of his, like all his merchandises.
Right.
And I was like, the teacher was like, "You do pretty well.
Mhm.
I'll train you in this particular one, and
Mhm.
then maybe let's do shows." And
Nice.
then I did a lot of shows as
Okay.
the little MJ.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
You kind of have his persona also in a way. I can come and show some moves. Right. So, yes, dance, magic, and I am pretty sure there's so much more going on behind this facade that you put up on stage. Do you want to talk more on your skills and what other hobbies or things that you enjoy doing?
No. I'm just kidding.
We're doing a podcast, come on.
I mean, I like to dabble in almost every art form I get.
Mhm.
Uh, I like music, I like art, I like movies, so I'm a mass comm student, I'm a journalism student.
Right,
So I loved making movies and, a lot of things.
right,
Why do I dabble in almost every art form I try and see? Because there is something to learn from every art form.
hmm,
And magic being my primary art form, I try to take certain things from different art forms
right,
and involve it in my magic to make it
right,
better.
right, right.
So that's why I try to dabble in a lot. So I like a lot of music. Yes, I listen to a lot of music.
You play the didgeridoo.
Ye- Yeah, a little
You
bit. Yes.
also dabble in rap a bit, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And
I have not really rapped.
right,
I've not rapped actually.
right, but you can
Not really.
if you want
Actually, if I try, maybe.
to. Okay.
I am trying.
Right.
There is one project coming out with
Ooh.
one and only Anup Kiar Kata Kudu,
Shout out to
Mr.
Kata Kodo.
Kata, yeah. And we have written a rap
Awesome. Okay.
which involves magic and music
Right.
to see the bridge between magic and music, how it is actually almost the same.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Same experience is what
Right.
I'm talking about.
Right.
Not the art form,
Mhm.
but how, like, I go on stage, the rapper goes on stage,
Mhm.
and they dance, and in mine they go crazy. So
Right. Right.
there are some emotions which are almost similar.
Mhm.
So we are working on a track which brings out that particular one.
Awesome.
It's more of the artist
Right.
which is coming out in that.
Right. Right.
And yeah, music. I like music. So more than the mainstream instruments, I like stuff like the didgeridoo.
Right.
I like the ekatara from the Bengali
Right. Right.
ekatara.
Ekta,
I
yes.
like the tampan
Right.
and all these stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I don't do this for the people or for the public. It's just for me to be in my
Of course.
zone. And even when I'm doing that, I'm thinking about magic actually.
Awesome. So in a way, all these skills are, ultimately helping you
Helping me
become
make my
yourself.
magic a lot
Right.
better.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
100%.
Amazing. Apart from all this, I think you're an avid animal lover.
Oh yeah.
I've visited your house. That's how I know. I've seen all your birds and your pets. So, care to tell all the audience about what all animals you have and how your life revolves around these animals?
Uh, the first thing I do in the morning when I wake up
Right.
is talk to my birds.
Awesome.
I love birds.
Right.
So I train my birds, I hand tame them, I hand feed them.
Awesome.
I have like almost 10 birds at home
Wow.
and none of them are caged.
Right.
It's out there, it can fly around in my home
Awesome.
and it's always on me.
Awesome. Yeah.
And yeah, and I have a pet tarantula.
Wow.
And yeah, I wish I had an iguana, I wish I had a snake, I wish I had a lot of things.
Wow.
But if I have all of those things, I won't be in my home. My parents are
Right.
going to kick me out.
Right.
So one day, I'm going to have my own reptile farm. Not reptile
Wow.
farm, sorry. Not reptile farm. I'll be having a reptile sanctuary of my own.
Awesome. Awesome. Right. So now that we know what makes Sathwik Gupta, all his list of array of skills and his animals and his journey so far as a kid with a magic kit to a well-known and renowned mentalist and illusionist of the country. But you've also dabbled in the corporate side of life, right? You've
Yes.
had a corporate job and you've done the 9 to 5 and you've done that part of
Yes.
things. Also. How did you walk out of it? What made you stop that and take up magic as a professional career? And how has your corporate experience helped you in this journey?
Okay. So I got into a job right after college
Right.
because magic, I had never really thought about magic being my full time job.
Mhm.
I never really thought about it.
Mhm.
I just got into a job.
Right.
So I did a lot of long internships
Mhm.
in a lot of companies, and then I used to work in radio,
Mhm.
and then I got into a social media agency. I used to work as a social media manager, content creator. I mean, I wasn't creating content for myself. I
Right.
used to shoot for a lot of brands. I used to
Right.
edit. I used to write.
Right.
I did that part, and then I was like, agency life is too difficult. I don't have time for myself because agency is like that, right?
Correct.
If you're working in an agency 24 into 7, you're on your job.
Right.
Because I used to handle a lot of clients under me.
Mhm.
And later I got a 9 to 5 job.
Right.
I'm like, it was in a real estate company.
Okay.
and it was again it was social media itself. I was working for the corporate communications,
Right.
PR and corporate communications and social media.
Right.
I did my part there, and I got a random call one day.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Hey Sathwik," I'm like, "Hi,"
Mm-hmm.
like, "We just got your number from online.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you're the magician." I'm
Right.
like, "Not the magician, but yeah, I do a little magic." They're like, "Okay, yes. So we are a production company based out of Germany." I'm like,
Okay.
"What?"
Mm.
So random it
Right.
was from Germany. I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "We just saw your profile, so we are planning on shooting a documentary called Choices. There's already one season. Would you like to be
Mm-hmm.
part of it?
Mm-hmm.
If we can have more conversations, we can figure out if you can be." I'm like, "Okay."
Hmm.
So I always was open for new experiences and new things. I always used to say yes for everything I wanted to do, and some things even which was outside my comfort zone, everything. And this time I was like, okay. I was not hopeful about me getting selected. I was like, why not?
Right.
But I was happy that somebody reached out to me without
Right.
me. I wasn't on social media. I had my private account. I never posted magic.
Right.
How did this person find me?
Yeah.
And then like we somehow found you. I had done few shows back then. I used to
Okay.
do shows.
Got it.
And they told me there was this one website where your number was given, some magic directory.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Then they spoke to me. One day they're like, we are sorry, it's not going to happen. I was like, okay. I mean, I was happy that somebody
Yeah,
reached out
they
to
just-
me.
yeah.
I was like, wow, okay.
Right.
But again, 2-3 days later, they called me again. They're like, Sathwik, we spoke to a lot of magicians in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are going ahead with you.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
like, okay.
Hmm.
And then I got on that show. They shot me, and there was a lot of things happening with the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the show name is Choices. It's on Geo Cinemas.
Right.
It is about an amateur magician
Mm-hmm.
being pushed
Mm-hmm.
to see a bigger dream. Okay, I was having a corporate life, and
Right.
then I was doing magic on the side
Right.
as a hobby.
Right.
And this show was all about pushing the artist
Right.
to dream big.
Right.
So I met another big magician in India, one very well-known magician, and then I met him, and there's a lot of things which happen in the documentary. And that's when I was like, I think I should take magic full-time.
So wait, this documentary is on air right now?
Yeah, it is on...
It's online. It's on Geo Cinema.
It's on Geo Cinemas, yes.
Guys,
Choices
go check it
Season
out.
2,
Check it out
Episode
right
3.
now. Yes, Choices
Season
Season
2.
2, Episode 3.
Yeah.
Watch Sathwik Gupta on the TV. Guys, please.
Nah, it's not that great.
No, but
I'm just
still,
kidding, it's good.
Of course, it's great. It has Sathwik Gupta in it. It's great.
But
Watch it.
that happened, and I was like, I need to take magic full time.
Mm-hmm.
I got motivated that I think I have some good thing on my hand. Let
Right.
me utilize it.
Right.
And I applied to a job as a magician in USA on a cruise ship.
Wow, okay.
I applied. I had my interview sessions, and I got selected.
Wow. Okay.
My dream,
Right.
the dream which I never knew I wanted.
Right.
I got a job as a magician across the world,
Right.
which
Basically
would
traveling
take me
the world.
across the world again,
Right.
around the world,
Correct.
traveling and do magic.
Right, what
And get paid well as well.
Of course.
And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So
Yeah, it's
I left
like a
my job.
Dream come true.
I actually gave my papers, and then I'm like, okay, done. So
Right.
then I had to do a lot of
Huh.
job, like procedures to get
Yeah,
on a cruise ship.
Prep work.
Prep, like there's a lot of certifications, there's a
Right.
lot of courses I need to
Right,
do
right.
before I get on a ship.
Ship, right.
So I did everything, and then I was supposed to, everything was done.
Mhm.
It took 6-7 months of the procedure, and then I was supposed to wait for my visa.
Mhm.
And that's when I was a little bored. I didn't have a job.
Right.
I didn't do a lot of shows back then because I was going there, so I
Right,
didn't do shows.
right.
I can get my visa call anytime or something like that.
Right.
So I started uploading on social media.
Mhm.
I made a public account. I'm like, everybody used to be like, I've only seen your magic online, here and there.
Personal.
You only perform for a lot of other people. I've not seen it much. Can you post it online?
Right, right.
So I started posting. Randomly, I never post it to gain a clout or anything.
Right.
I was just posting for my own
For the hell
friends
of
and
yeah.
family to see it.
Got it.
Because usually family and friends never get to see a lot of what I do.
Right.
Because that happens in my shows, right?
Right.
I started posting a little bit, and then one video got viral.
Okay.
A video where I stole a cop's watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where
in the police
police
station.
station. That
With
got
all the cops surrounding. him.
surrounded. Uh,
That video is also on, I think,
My
your
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, it's Magic with Sathwik. Check it
Yes.
out.
So that video got viral, and people started recognizing me in Bangalore.
Right.
And I started getting messages from across Karnataka.
Right.
Everybody started they're like, wow, I've seen that magician, I've seen
Right.
that magician. And is there a magician like you in Karnataka?
Right, yeah.
They felt good.
Right.
That ಕನ್ನಡದವರು ಒಬ್ರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋರು.
Right.
ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೀ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ,
Right.
ಬರೀ ಬ್ರಿಟನ್ಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬರೀ ಅಬ್ರಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Right.
ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮವರೊಬ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ವಿಚಾರ ಆಯಿತು.
Correct.
So they felt proud that I was part of them. I was them, with
Correct.
them.
Correct.
And then people started recognizing me. I got a lot of contacts. People started calling me for shows. That's when I was like, why leave your own state or your country when you can do a lot more here? People over there have already seen a lot.
Yeah, true.
Let
and
me
they
show
have enough inspirations out there already, I think. Yeah.
I was like, let me stay back.
Right.
Let me do something here.
Right.
And yes, and I've been doing it.
I'm
till
glad
now.
you did so, and I'm glad Opal Out found you, and I'm glad that you are on board with us. And I'm glad that you are also continuing this journey of inspiring people. You know, I've seen you from the last 2 years, and the way you interact with kids, the way you interact with people from all walks of life. So it's really amazing to just keep that hope spreading. You know, it's all, at the end of the day, it's kind of believing. Like you believe in magic.
Believe
and
in magic.
people see you, they believe in magic because they're seeing it in front of their eyes. So you're kind of spreading that hope and that belief, and it's a very positive thing that you are doing, and we are really glad that you're doing it. Keep doing it, and we are always there to support you.
Thank you.
So while we are on the same note of inspiring people and spreading the joy, you have been actively doing a lot of CSR shows, especially to the government school, in the government schools of Bangalore, if I'm not wrong. How did you come up with this, of doing this on your own, without any commercials, without anything, just for the kids? And what effect has it had on the kids and on you?
So it all started because of my family. I mean, my mom and my dad, everybody are always thinking about giving.
Right.
And when I have such a beautiful art form on my hand, like magic, I wanted to give it. I knew that there's some purpose. There's always something you can do good. And I remember doing one of my first magic show for an orphanage was when I was in 4th grade, 4th
Wow.
or 5th grade.
Okay.
It started back then, and I've done a lot of performances for kids. That's where that's where it pushes me to do more magic, to be very honest. The innocence, the wonder they have, it feels good. I don't do it because it feels just good for me. It also inspires them
Right.
that
No doubt.
you can dream. You can
Yes.
dream big.
Right.
And there are people who are dreaming and trying to work on it, and they're on that path.
Right.
And maybe I can inspire somebody one day.
Right.
And now I've just been performing in a lot of government schools.
Correct.
And these kids would have never seen what I've done.
Right.
See, the people you know that I don't perform for kids, right?
Right.
The only place I
That I
perform
know,
for
yes.
kids is an orphanage
Or a
or
government school.
a government school.
Correct.
Because these are the kids who are not aware of the magic I do.
Right.
These are the kids who never get a lot of good entertainment.
Right.
These are the kids who do not really have a lot.
Right. And
And when I have a lot, I need to give it to them.
right.
Right? Let's share.
Correct. In a way, I think these kids are also the kind of kids, who don't have the opportunity or the choice to dream big.
It's
Or-
not because they don't have an opportunity or a
Or,
choice.
they-
They don't know that they can dream,
Dream
big.
big,
There are
yeah.
only few people
Right.
who dream big.
Right.
But some people, they're like, no, I don't. Why should I just dream when it won't happen? They get into that mindset.
Exactly, yes.
I've spoken to a lot of kids.
Right.
They haven't dreamt well.
Right.
I mean, they not dreamt well. They don't really dream much.
Right.
They're like, Nanage, I just need 2 meals a day.
Mhm.
I need to do something for that.
Right.
Because they've seen the hardships of their family, right? Their
Right.
mom and dad working
Right.
every day and every night
Right.
for.
And they can't afford to
They can't really
dream big.
afford to dream big.
Right.
Because their life is like that.
Exactly.
But I try to push it to them saying, yes, you can.
Right. I think that is the time when you enter the scene and you turn the impossible to possible.
That is what magic is all about, right?
Exactly.
Turning the impossible to possible.
Yes. And also in their mindset, which is an amazing impact to have
100%.
on a kid, especially.
Yes. Because when you, kids are, what do you say? At that age, everything they consume becomes part of their life.
Right.
If we bring in some positivity
Mhm.
and a little touch of magic to it,
Right. Nothing like it.
nothing like it.
Amazing. So, I think we are coming to the end of the podcast for this episode. I have just one round, which is going to be a little fun and quick,
Okay?
which is the rapid fire round. And we're going to ask you some questions, and you're going to answer with the first thing that comes in your mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Your favorite magic trick of all time?
My favorite magic trick of all time, levitation,
Dance style you can't resist grooving to?
local tumte beats, bro.
One song you'd play on a loop while performing magic?
Harry Potter,
If you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
David Blaine,
Your go-to mantra or quote for motivation?
believe in it and it'll happen.
With that, I believe that we've come to the end of the podcast.
Do you just believe or is it actually the end?
I believe.
Yeah, you
And with believing, it is the end.
Yes.
So before we sign off on the first episode of the Opal podcast, Sathwik, what would you like to tell our audience who've been watching us?
Hi.
Or rather,
Stay
bye.
magical.
Stay magical, folks. And we
Believe
will
in
see
magic.
you in the next episode of the Opal podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Pranav, for having me.
Pleasure is all mine. And so is the magic.
That's mine.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shout out to Endurance Studios for hosting us and making this podcast live. Thank you.